Hi, Mrs. Fury.
Hi.
I'm going to ask you a few questions about Nick, and I would like you to answer them to the best of your ability. So, the options are never or almost never, sometimes, often, or always or almost always. So, first, as culturally appropriate, does Nick understand and use abstract words appropriate for his age and grade?
Sometimes.
Does Nick understand and use multiple meaning words appropriately for his age or grade?
Sometimes.
Does he use knowledge of sentence structure to interpret ambiguous sentences?
Sometimes.
Does he understand the use of personification in spoken and written forms?
Sometimes.
Does he understand slang when introduced by peers and uses it appropriately?
Sometimes.
Does he understand idiomatic expressions like "she is pulling my leg"?
Oh no, never.
Does he understand metaphoric language like "he is a bear"?
No.
Does he understand the meanings and purposes of using common proverbs?
No, he never does.
Does he understand and react as expected to jokes?
Sometimes.
Does he understand sarcasm?
Sometimes.
Okay, the next section will be about inferences and predictions. Does he differentiate fact from fiction in spoken and written information?
Sometimes.
Does he predict short and long-term effects of actions described in spoken or written information?
No, he never does.
Does he predict emotional reactions of characters in stories, novels, and plays?
Sometimes he can.
Does he draw inferences from character descriptions, relationships, and reactions in stories, novels, and plays?
No, never.
Does he predict outcomes of stories, novels, and plays?
Never.
Does he make inferences from public opinion and mass media and predicts outcomes?
Sometimes.
Does he understand that a single event can result in multiple outcomes and multiple events can result in a single outcome?
No, never. He gets confused with that.
Does he use sound judgment to predict the probability of positive or negative outcomes?
Never.
Does he understand inferential comments or requests like "shouldn't we leave"?
Yeah, sometimes.
Does he understand and react tactfully to another person's point of view in discussions or conversation?
Sometimes.
Okay, so this section will be about his conversational knowledge and use. Does he use appropriate words to express complex intentions like negotiating and thoughts like doubts?
I'd say sometimes.
Does he change register and interaction style to match his participants' age, status, relationship, or special needs?
Sometimes.
Does he know and follow the expectations for social interactions within the school or community's culture?
Sometimes.
Does he organize and direct conversations or discussions to accomplish specific purposes?
Sometimes.
Does he participate easily and fluently in group conversation and discussion?
Sometimes.
Does he maintain the topic or theme of a discussion through several conversational turns?
Sometimes.
Does he extend the topics of conversations and discussions logically and appropriately?
Sometimes he does.
Does he redirect unpleasant conversations or discussions appropriately?
Sometimes.
Does he recognize when communication is not effective and is able to paraphrase or take a different approach?
Only sometimes.
And does he know how to enter and exit conversations or discussions smoothly and appropriately?
Sometimes.
All right, that's the end of that. Thank you for all that information.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay. Hi, Nick. How are you?
I'm good.
All right. Today we're going to look at a few things in this book and I'm going to ask you a few questions. So let's get started. People often tell us about things that happen, but they don't always tell us why they happen. Then we have to guess for ourselves. For example, this morning my Uncle Freddie sent me a message that said, "I was hoping to wash my car today. I guess I'll wash it tomorrow." I figured out a couple of reasons why my Uncle Freddie couldn't wash his car today. It was raining, or he didn't have enough time. Listen to this one. The students had to go safely outside for a fire drill. After the fire drill, Amy and Gary were called to the principal's office. Now I'll read 4 other sentences that could explain why Amy and Gary were called to the principal's office. I want you to select the 2 sentences that best explain what could have happened. You may read your choices aloud to me, point to them, or say the letters of your choices. Amy and Gary were called to the principal's office after the fire drill because they talked loudly during the drill, they walked out of the building quietly, they ran outside instead of walking, or they both have a parent who is a firefighter. Which 2 choices best explain what could have happened?
A. Just A.
Remember, choose 2 reasons that best explain what could have happened. Now I want you to think of and tell me a reason other than the ones listed here why Amy and Gary could have been called to the principal's office.
They didn't listen to their teacher.
Now I will read some more sentences to you and ask you to choose 2 reasons that best explain why somebody could have said something or why something could have happened. Then I will ask you to tell me another reason why somebody could have said something or why something could have happened. I can repeat the sentences if you ask me to. Tran and Anna were having lots of fun at the outdoor concert. They left early. Tran and Anna left early because the band was playing really terrific music. They had to be home before dark. They actually never liked outdoor concerts, or they still had lots of homework to do.
B and D.
Tell me one more reason why Tran and Anna could have left the concert early.
Their ride left early.
Maria was excited about going on the 2-week-long trip with her friends. After only 1 week, she called her mom and said, "I can't wait to get home." Maria called and told her mom because she missed being with her family and favorite pet. She really needed time alone after all the activity. She was having a wonderful time with her friends, and she was taking lots of great pictures with her friends.
A and B.
Tell me one more reason why Maria could have called her mom after only 1 week and said, "I can't wait to get home."
She hated camp.
Danny bought meat, potatoes, and salad to make dinner for his parents. Danny went out to dinner with his parents instead. Danny went out to dinner with his parents because his parents had already made plans to go out to eat. His parents always loved to eat home-cooked meals. His parents really liked the dinner he was preparing, and his parents said they didn't want to eat at home that night.
C and D.
Tell me one more reason why Danny could have gone out to dinner with his parents instead of making dinner.
His parents didn't want what he was making.
Mrs. Yang rushed out of the house because she was late for work. 2 minutes later, she returned to the house smiling. 2 minutes after leaving, Mrs. Yang returned to the house smiling because her boss fired her, so she came back home. She left her overdue library books at home. She remembered that it was the weekend, or her watch was set an hour early and she really wasn't late.
B and C.
Tell me one more reason why Mrs. Yang could have returned to the house smiling 2 minutes after leaving.
She quit her job.
Carlos patiently waited in line for a hamburger. When he got to the counter, he suddenly said, "Never mind," and left the fast food restaurant. Carlos suddenly said and did that because he got a phone call that he needed to answer in a quiet place. He saw that the hamburgers didn't look very fresh or tasty. He realized that the serving sizes were very large and the food looked good. The line was moving fast and the food came really quickly.
B and D.
Tell me one more reason why when he got to the counter, Carlos could have suddenly said, "Never mind," and left the fast food restaurant.
He didn't have any money.
Sherry's dad planned to pick her up from school at 3:45. Sherry walked home from school. Sherry walked home from school because she hurt her ankle during gym class and had to go home. She forgot that her dad was picking her up. Her dad had car trouble, or she got out of school at 3:40.
B and C.
Tell me one more reason why Sherry walked home instead of riding home with her dad.
She wanted to be with her friends.
Tom was the hardest worker at Chicken Hut. Tom's boss said she wouldn't give him a raise. Tom's boss wouldn't give him a raise because she didn't have the money to give him a raise. Tom was one of the best workers at Chicken Hut. Tom worked hard, but he kept mixing up the orders. Tom asked for 2 extra Chicken Hut uniforms.
A and D.
Tell me one more reason why Tom's boss could have said that she wouldn't give him a raise.
He was too young.
Lisa went to 8 different stores to shop for a special gift for her dad. She came home with a frown on her face. Lisa came home with a frown on her face because her dad had never given her a special gift. She couldn't decide what to get her dad. There were not enough gift choices at all those stores. She didn't have enough money to buy what her dad wanted.
C and D.
Tell me one more reason why Lisa could have come home with a frown on her face.
She ran out of money.
Tony and Oscar played a joke on their sister Dee by making her a peanut butter and ketchup sandwich. After taking a bite of the sandwich, Dee said, "You guys are getting so much better in the kitchen." Dee said that because Dee didn't realize it was a joke because she really liked crazy sandwich combinations. Dee meant what she said because she hated any kind of strange taste combinations. Dee had eaten a peanut butter and pickles sandwich last week at her friend's house. Or Dee meant what she said because she had a cold and couldn't taste the ketchup.
A and B.
Tell me one more reason why Dee could have said, "You guys are getting so much better in the kitchen," after taking a bite of the peanut butter and ketchup sandwich.
It sounds nasty.
Rosie exercised by running every morning before breakfast. On Friday, she told her dad, "I'm going walking before breakfast." Rosie told her dad that because she'd hurt one of her legs while running on Thursday. She really didn't care if she was late to breakfast. Her friend didn't run but wanted to walk with her, or her alarm didn't go off and she overslept on Friday.
C and D.
Tell me one more reason why on Friday Rosie could have told her dad, "I'm going walking before breakfast."
She hates running.
Tina waited more than half an hour for her friend after school. When she came home, Tina said, "I don't want to talk to anyone," and turned her phone off. Tina did that because she didn't want her aunt to call her. She was angry and didn't want to listen to excuses. Her friend hurt her feelings by not meeting her. She had to help her friend with his homework.
C and D.
Tell me one more reason why Tina could have said, "I don't want to talk to anyone," and turned her phone off.
The kids were mean to her.
Jan was looking forward to her first job review. Her boss started the review by saying, "I don't know where to begin." Jan's boss said that because Jan's boss forgot what he was going to say during her review. Jan's boss doesn't like doing job reviews and waited until the last second to begin. Jan's boss didn't know how best to tell her that she wasn't doing a good job. Or Jan's boss had so many good things to tell her he didn't know what to start with.
B and D.
Tell me one more reason why Jan's boss could have started the review by saying, "I don't know where to begin."
He didn't know what to say.
Okay, now we're going to do the next section. Have you ever walked into a place where people were talking and you only heard a few words? When you only hear a few words of a conversation, there are many ways the words could have been put together. I'm going to show you a picture, then I'll use 3 words to make a sentence that someone in the picture could say. Look at this picture. A girl and her friend are sitting on the front steps, and the girl's father is in the window. They were talking, and one of them used these 3 words: Pam, late, dinner. The dad could have said, "Pam, don't be late for dinner." Or the girl could have asked her friend, "Would you like to join us for late dinner, Pam?" Here's another one. Here's a picture of 2 students in a school hallway. Listen to the words I heard one of them say. Don't, leg. Tell me a sentence one of the students could have said using the words don't and leg. Make sure your sentence is about the picture and that all the words are in it. The words can be used in any order.
Don't hurt your leg.
That was a good sentence. If you use the words in a different order, you could say, I don't want to hurt my leg. Now I'll ask you to make some more sentences. Here are some people talking. Here are the words I heard. Chocolate and. Tell me a sentence that one of the people in the picture could have said using these two words. Make sure your sentence could be used in a situation and that both words are in it. The two words can be used in any order. I can repeat the situation or the words if you need me to.
I want chocolate and peanut butter.
While cooking breakfast, when toast.
I will eat toast when it is ready.
At a soccer game, if practice.
I won't go to practice if it is too hot out.
Now let's try one with 3 words. Here's a picture of a coach and her students in the gym. Here are the words I heard one of them say. Basketball, fun, easy. Tell me something one of them could have said using these 3 words. Remember, you can use the words in any order, but it must be something that someone in the picture could say. One of the girls could have said, I think it's fun and easy to play basketball. Or the coach could have said, basketball will be easy and fun if you practice. Let's do some more. On a bike ride, since, might, walk.
I might have to walk since my tire is flat.
At a public swimming pool, watch carefully while.
He must watch carefully while walking around the pool.
At a neighborhood cleanup, job, but important.
My job is important, but the neighborhood is a mess.
While ordering food, either have corn.
I'll either have corn or French fries.
While folding clothes, myself, even now, hard.
Even though folding's hard, I will do it by myself.
At the movie theater, rather, before, after.
I would rather eat after the movie than before.
While looking outside on a rainy day, inside, however, cat.
I will stay inside with my cat, however.
In a science classroom, during, if, worried.
I am worried if I will break something during science.
At a clothing store, actually, although wrong.
I actually bought the wrong shirt, although it is blue.
On moving day, tough, now, nonetheless.
Moving is tough now that I am in high school.
While looking at magazines, different, might, regardless.
I might read the different articles regardless of what they are about.
In a school cafeteria, napkins, difficult, unless.
Cleaning the table is difficult with napkins unless you have a bunch.
At the grocery store, either, week, some.
He shops for some meals for either this week or next.
While sorting clothes, or colorful especially.
The shirts are colorful, especially the flannel or sweaters.
Okay, we're going to go on to the next section. Sometimes people say or write something that could have two meanings. If I said, look at the bat, it could mean look at the baseball bat or look at the flying animal. That's because this word, bat, means two things, a baseball bat and a flying animal. Let's do another one. Here's another sentence that means one thing. Your glasses are dirty. What two things can the sentence mean?
Your eyeglasses are dirty.
That's right. That's right. The word glasses means two things. So the sentence, your glasses are dirty, can mean the glasses that you drink from are dirty or your eyeglasses are dirty. Here's another sentence that means more than one thing. The fish was ready to eat. What two things can the sentence mean?
The fish was cooked and ready to be eaten by someone.
Ready to eat can mean ready to be eaten by someone or ready to eat food. So the sentence, the fish was ready to eat, can mean the fish was cooked and ready to be eaten by someone, or the fish was hungry and ready to eat some fish food. Now let's do some more. Listen carefully while I read each sentence. Then tell me the two things that each sentence could mean. I saw her duck when she came out of the building. What two things can the sentence mean?
The duck was yellow.
Did you see that fly? What two things can the sentence mean?
Did you see that insect, bug, or animal? Did you see the lanternfly?
Katie made a basket during the game. What two things could the sentence mean?
Katie scored 2 points. She scored a 3-pointer.
The teacher told us to make a line. What two things could the sentence mean?
The teacher told us to stand in a line and to draw a line.
He wrote several letters.
He wrote some letters of the alphabet. He wrote ABCs.
He loves to tell his cat stories.
He tells stories. He likes dog stories.
Andrea moved one foot to the left.
She moved one of her feet and one to the right.
The children ran into the room with balloons.
It was a bouncy house. The children ran into a room that had balloons in it.
Mr. Roberts is an American history teacher.
He teaches American history. He teaches social studies.
The little girl walked to the chair with food.
The little girl walked to the chair that had food on it and sat on the table.
Visiting relatives can be annoying.
Going to visit relatives can be annoying. I don't like the car.
Flowers are sold by interesting people.
The people who sell flowers are interesting. I don't like flowers.
Mario did not blame the girl as much as her mother.
Mario blamed the girl's mother more than he blamed the girl. Her mother's mean.
Jason loves his mom's cookies, and so does Mark.
Mark loves Jason's mom's cookies. Jason likes cookies.
All new books and pencils must stay at school.
All new books and new pencils must stay at school. Keep the stuff at school.
Okay, we're going to go on to our last section. Sometimes we say something that seems to mean one thing, but really means something else. This is called an expression. For example, a boy who is talking to his little brother, who wants to play a game with him, might say, "Get lost." If we heard this expression, we would know that the big brother didn't really want his little brother to actually get lost. He just wanted him to go away and stop bothering him. I'm going to tell you what other people said and the expressions they used in different situations. And I want you to tell me what you think they really meant. The first situation is a girl talking to her friend about a flat tire. The girl said, "I have to change the tire, so would you give me a hand?" In your own words, tell me, what does "give me a hand" mean?
Assist.
Tell me, which of these sentences means almost the same thing or could be used instead of "would you give me a hand"? Wait until you have heard me read all of them before you choose. You may read your choice, point to it, or say a letter. You know this like the back of your hand. I sure wish you would pitch in. Hold out one of your hands, or why don't you turn your back on me?
B.
Now let's do some more. Here's the situation. Two girls talking about a friend who is crying in PE class. Here is what the speaker said. "That really came out of the blue." What does that mean?
Out of nowhere.
Tell me, which of these sentences could be used instead of "that really came out of the blue"? That was right on target. That took me by surprise. Looks like blue skies ahead for her. Or she cried until her face was blue.
B.
The situation is two boys talking about a friend of theirs. This is what the speaker said. "Boy, he must have gotten up on the wrong side of the bed." What does that mean?
In a bad mood.
Tell me, which of these sentences could be used instead of "he must have gotten up on the wrong side of the bed"? He's a happy camper. He got up on the left side of the bed. He's out of sorts. He made his bed and must lie in it.
A.
The situation is two students talking about their favorite teacher who is absent. The speaker says, "Mrs. Baker has been under the weather lately." What does that mean?
Sick.
Tell me, which of these sentences could be used instead of "Mrs. Baker has been under the weather lately"? She's run down. She's feeling like $1,000,000. She's been under a cloud. Or she's been standing in the rain under her umbrella.
A.
The situation is a boy talking about his older brother playing jokes on people. The speaker says he'll find out that what goes around comes around. What does that mean?
What you do to someone else comes back to you.
Tell me, which of these sentences could be used instead of he'll find out that what goes around comes around? He'll keep getting away with it. He'll get directions soon. He's going around in circles. Or he'll learn that turnabout is fair play.
A.
This situation is three friends talking about updating the school website. The speaker says, "We'd better meet so we're on the same page." What does that mean?
Think the same?
Tell me, which of these sentences could be used instead of "we'd better meet so we're on the same page"? We'll take a page from your book. Let's make sure we're in sync. Let's all turn to page 19, or we're on opposite sides of the fence.
B.
This situation is two sisters talking about a neighbor boy and his dad. The speaker says, "Looks like the apple doesn't fall far from the tree." What does that mean?
Like father, like son.
Tell me, which of these sentences could be used instead of saying the apple doesn't fall far from the tree? He is a chip off the old block. He is the apple of his dad's eye. They are like apples and oranges. Or when an apple drops from the tree, it doesn't go very far.
B.
This situation is two friends talking about their grouchy history teacher. Speaker says, "I think Mr. Brown's bark is worse than his bite." What does that mean?
He gets angry, but he doesn't take action.
Tell me, which of these sentences could be used instead of "Mr. Brown's bark is worse than his bite"? He means what he says. He bites off more than he can chew. He makes barking noises at us all day. Or he's all talk and no action.
A.
This situation is a mom talking to her son who's worried about getting all his homework done on time. The speaker says, "Well, son, when the going gets tough, the tough get going." What does that mean?
Be tough and keep working.
Tell me, which of these sentences could be used instead of "when the going gets tough, the tough gets going"? That's a tough nut to crack. It's tough to get up in the morning. You'll have to rise to the occasion. Or you should just give up.
B.
This situation is a teacher after listening to the student explain about his missing homework. She says, "Sounds like you're beating around the bush to me." What does that mean?
Taking too long.
Tell me, which of these sentences could be used instead of "you're beating around the bush"? You're cutting to the chase. You're talking in circles. You're hitting the grass around the bush. You're beating the bushes.
A.
Two friends talking about not having any plans this weekend, but having two birthday parties and one anniversary dinner the weekend after that. Speaker says, "It seems like it's either feast or famine." What does that mean?
All or nothing.
Tell me, which of these sentences could be used instead of "it's either feast or famine"? It's something to feast your eyes on. It's moderation in all things. It goes from one extreme to the other, or there's either too much or not enough to eat.
D.
This situation is a guy talking to his friend who's sick of living in an apartment and really wants a house. The speaker says, "A house has lots of expenses, so be careful what you wish for." What does that mean?
Don't buy a house.
Tell me, which of these sentences could be used instead of "be careful what you wish for"? Some things aren't at all what they're cracked up to be. Everything will be peachy keen. You should make a wish very carefully. Be careful when you wish upon the stars.
C.
This situation is two friends discussing a third friend who is sick. The speaker said she thought she had allergies, but it's the flu. That's a horse of a different color. What does that mean?
Something different.
Tell me, which of these sentences could be used instead of that's a horse of a different color? That's looking at it from a different angle. That's two different sides of the same coin. That horse is a different color than the other horse. Or that's a different kettle of fish.
B.
Okay, that completes our assessment. Thank you for coming in.
You're welcome.